Michael Lindsay, pleasure to catch up with you down here in the Alfa Romeo garages. As Championship Coordinator, can I ask you just to quickly give us a recap on Alton Park before we dive into the live action here at Silverstone?
Well, yes, I ought to put something straight, Rachel. First of all, I was coordinator for 30 plus years, but we now have a sort of a panel that does it. So Andy Robinson was doing it today, but anyway.
My apologies to Andrew.
Yes. But no, as far as Alton Park is concerned, we had a fantastic weekend there. The weather was lovely again, and we had some superb racing, particularly between Tom Hill and Andrew Bourke. And that was real side-by-side stuff. I mean, there were many laps when Andrew came out of Lodge and then up the hill, past the pits, side-by-side with Tom. The only trouble was he was on the outside and he couldn't just make it round Tom. But Tom won the first race there in the Twin Spark Cup. He had a gearbox, well, a hole in the gearbox actually for the second race, so he didn't win that. So Andrew Bourke then took his first ever win in the Twin Spark Cup, with Simon Cresswell second and Mike Tiedemann was third. But we also had, running alongside this, the fact that the modified and power trophy cars were in all sorts of bother, and we had the unique situation of two Fiats on the front row of the grid for an Alfa race, and they both went extremely well. Chris McPhee won the second race in his Fiat Abarth. Unfortunately, Simon had a bit of a spin, damaged his suspension and didn't finish. But
so quickly here for Silverstone then, couple of names from the various classes. Who are going to be the ones to watch out on track this weekend, do you think?
Well, I think obviously James Browning, because he was in pole position after qualifying. He's going to be somebody who we're going to watch very carefully. James Ford is always a contender in these races. Tom Hill, he's going to be very, very quick.
And you've got a spectacular calendar lined up, haven't you, for the rest of the season? Off to Cadwell Park next, and some great national circuits before the end of the season.
Yes, we have, and one of the events we're looking forward to is the Festival Italia at Brands Hatch. Now,
and when's that?
That's in the middle of August. Now, I don't think you're going to be filming there, but it is for us going to be a big event. But before that, yes, we're at Cadwell. We shall be at Rockingham in the middle of June, and then Snetterton in July before we go to Brands. And then we're going, for the first time for many, many years, back to Mallory Park. That's going to be a little bit of an experiment for us. And then we finish the season at Donington in October.
And who are you going to ask to repeat and mail order this weather for the rest of the season?
Probably my cat.
Okay, I look forward to the tips for Cadwell Park.
Yes, my cat, who is named Figaro, and yes, he would like to sprawl out in the garden in the sun, and he'll hope that we have the same kind of weather.
Well, thank you very much for that insight, Michael Lindsay. I look forward to catching up with you again.
Good to see you, Rachel.
Well, I've caught up with Stacey Dennis down here in the garages between races. Stacey, can you tell us a little bit about why you come to race in the Alfas, being the only lady currently in the championship? Why did you choose them?
I just really enjoy the Alfa Romeos, really. It's obviously a bit cheaper than some of the other forms of motorsport out there and bits and pieces. Paul, who runs Bianco, kindly got me into the motorsport and obviously runs the Alfas, so that's why I went for the Alfa Romeos.
And how do you find the paddock and the racing experience as a championship?
Fantastic. It's a racing family. I haven't been out since October last year, come out for the first time this year because I've missed the racing family. It's not just the 20 minutes on track, it's everything, from the minute I get here to the minute I go, so really enjoy it.
And how are you finding the car and the setup after the long winter and out here at Silverstone? I know you broke the car in presumably at Alton in the first rounds, but are you pleased with how it's performing so far this season?
The car is absolutely faultless still. I still have room for improvement, but the car itself, I can't complain about the setup whatsoever. It's absolutely perfect, and it's absolutely flying this weekend.
And are you hoping for more of the same weather-wise for the races to come tomorrow, or are you like some of the others I've been talking to and praying to do a rain dance tonight?
I actually do enjoy racing in the rain, funny enough. However, it's just nice to be out in the sunshine and enjoy the sun for after racing. So many times in our championship we have raced in the rain, so it's quite nice to have a nice sunny day and enjoy it.
Certainly is, and as the cars head onto the grid for the first race, this is how they line up here at the Silverstone International Circuit. Anthony George and Ray Foley on the front row, ahead of the McPhee brothers, Chris and Simon in the Fiat Puntos, and Ian Brookfield in the 55. Then the Twin Spark cars headed by James Browning and reigning champion Tom Hill, then James Ford and Andrew Bourke, ahead of Dave Messenger and Simon Cresswell. Michael Tiedemann and Stacey Dennis, ahead of Andy Inman and Geffen Llewellyn, with the last three cars being Paul Webster, John Griffiths and Matt Abel. So, we're getting set now for 20 minutes of action here on the international circuit at Silverstone, and the cars will start off like this. The first 5 cars at the front of the field, we started by the lights. Look to the top left, they go out now, and the race is underway for the Modified Power Trophy and Invitation Class cars. And immediately, Chris McPhee in the number 23 Fiat Punto has got a cracking start from the front of the grid, but immediately gets swamped by the number 3 of Ray Foley and the number 10 of Anthony George. But Chris is not taking it lying down, already going around the outside. Meanwhile, here comes the cavalry. It's the Twin Spark machines up towards turn 1. Bit of rubbing in the midfield between a couple of cars, but James Browning has the lead. Leaders into village for the first time, and Simon McPhee watching his brother Chris as he's determined to lead the first lap, but Ray Foley has other ideas. They're side by side now up towards Chapel Corner. Then it's still Anthony George in the number 10. He's the only modified car this weekend in the 33. And then Simon McPhee in the second of the Puntos, holding station in 4th. So onto the hanger straight for the first time, side by side for the overall lead. But it's Ray Foley in the red number 3, 147 in the Power Trophy class that goes for the overall lead. Then the Twin Spark cars charge up towards Stowe Corner for the first time. James Browning in the white number 41 leads the field from reigning overall and Twin Spark champion Tom Hill. Then it's a battle on for third place as we've got James Ford in the red 23 scrapping away with Andrew Bourke in the number 86. There they go on the exit of Stowe Corner. And now they make their way up towards the complex at Vale and Club as the Twin Spark cars get amongst it. And Dave Messenger looking for the inside line to try and make a move on Bourke. Can't get it done. Has to settle for 5th position. In behind him is Simon Cresswell, the Australian, in the orange and black number 6. And also just behind him there, number 15, that's Mike Tiedemann. As they head onto the pit straight to end the first lap. There's also at the back of that queue there Stacey Dennis. She's the black and pink car who we saw Rachel talking to earlier on. As they head onto the second lap here, there's 23, James Ford. Up to the complex now, and a possible change for the lead here as Browning locks up into Village. That's going to put him under pressure from Tom Hill and James Ford. And going a little wide there is Dave Messenger. That now allows Simon Cresswell onto his door as they come up towards Chapel Corner. As Browning defends the lead, as it's side by side behind between Cresswell and Dave Messenger. Both of them have been race winners in this championship before, so they really want to get a good result if they can. Meanwhile, side by side for second place, as James Ford looks as though he's got a super run off Chapel Corner onto the hanger straight, and he has, he's got the position. So, James Ford hits second place, as Dave Messenger is also coming under pressure behind. I can see that's Michael Tiedemann as Andrew Bourke gets very sideways in the middle of Stowe Corner, but holds on to it. That's how you save a slide in front-wheel drive cars. Dab of opposite lock, boot of throttle, and around it comes again as a lock-up from Browning. Ford tried to get it stopped for the apex as well, but couldn't get it done in time. As Stacey Dennis just sits back and watches the action unfold in front of her, possibly just biding her time a little bit here. Just thinking, scrap amongst yourselves, boys. But any if you trip up, I'll be straight on you and taking full advantage. So, on to lap 3 then. The Twin Spark cars continuing to be as close as ever. No one making a break. There's Andrew Bourke in the 86. That's a new car for him. Of course, last year he ran the Alfa Romeo GT3 and had that unfortunate incident, that huge crash at Brands Hatch, which took him out. As for the lead of the Twin Spark Cup goes Tom Hill up the inside of James Browning into the complex at the Village. And that is Tom Hill, reigning champion, into a lead here at Silverstone. Second place there, James Browning. I just saw there that Simon Cresswell was attacking Andrew Bourke for 4th position. Hasn't made it work. And that compromised exit is going to put him into the clutches of Dave Messenger here. In fact, you can see the red car with the white mirrors in the background is going for 5th position in Twin Spark. Up the inside at Stowe. Leaders into the right-hander once again. And a little bit of a twitch there from Browning as he pitches the car hard into the corner. And they're still side by side for 5th position. Look at that. It's the orange car of Cresswell on the inside for Vale Corner. Messenger on the outside. Lock up from Browning again. He's done that now 3 times in 3 laps. But somehow keeps it stopped. and makes the apex and makes the turn. Now then, Bork is now trying to attack James Ford now, so the hunted becomes the hunter in this scenario, as Messenger is keeping Cresswell honest here, and they're starting to pair off a little bit here. 2 by 2 by 2 as they come back into Abbey Corner once again. The top 7 remains unchanged. There's Dave Messenger, vastly experienced Alfa Romeo driver, loves coming out in these cars, and he's always a stalwart of this championship, particularly in the twin spark class. So everything just started to settle down a little bit here. Very steady opening laps here at Silverstone. Now the Alfa Romeos, of course, have had a round before at Alton Park towards the end of March. That was a single day event. This is a 2-day event for the Alfa Romeos, so they'll be out tomorrow for the second race. But right now they are basking in beautiful April sunshine. Meanwhile, the overall leaders are up towards Vale and Club once again. This is Ray Foley in the number 3, leading the Power Trophy class, way ahead of his rival Ian Brookfield in the 155. Meanwhile, there's Anthony George. He's no stranger to the championship. Good to see him back in the modified class. He has raced in this class before in a 155 in a very similar, if not identical, colour scheme. And there in third place, look in the background, that is Chris McPhee in one of the 2 Invitation Fiat Puntos. Now, whilst we look at the overall leaders here, we should explain the class structure. There are 3 classes in Alfa Romeo Championships that you can score points. There's the modified class that Anthony George runs in. That's within reason for cars that really anything goes. Any Alfa Romeo that you want to do modifications to pretty much can fit into that category. There's cars like Graham Seeger, who was the 2015 overall champion. He normally comes out in his black and red Peak Alpha GTV, but he's not here this weekend, unfortunately. Car wasn't ready. Then we have the Power Trophy, which is being led by, of course, by Ray Foley. This is cars that are designated and classed based on a specific power to weight ratio that all the cars have to meet. So that makes it a bit more balanced, a bit more interesting. And then the Twin Spark Cup is for any Alfa Romeos that run the 2-litre twin spark engine as standard. So any production Alfa Romeos that ran that engine in their lifetime. So that's why you normally see a lot of 156s, 147s, there's been a 145, even a GTV Spider. And this class right here is certainly very competitive. This is where the most popular class you get in the Alfa Romeo Championship, and no wonder, because the action is always fast and furious. Now then, Tom Hill continues to lead then. As for second place, is that James Ford going straight on? I think it was, up at Vale Corner. Now Tom Hill should lead, but James Brown should be coming through in second place. Yes, he does. So James Browning takes second place from James Ford, and that mistake up at Vale has now put him under pressure from both Simon Cresswell and Andrew Bork as they come up towards Abbey Corner to start another lap. Cresswell and Bork turning their way through. Cresswell's a race winner in this championship in the past, so he knows what he's doing. It's a very diverse category, a lot of very competitive drivers. As here, this is a change for the overall lead, it looks as though, because Anthony George has got the legs on Ray Foley. Up the inside at Stowe Corner, simple as you like. Thank you very much, Ray. Don't mind if I do. That is Anthony George up the inside into the lead overall here at Silverstone. The first race of the weekend for the Alfa Romeo Championship. As they hit the brakes and pitch it left through Vale, and then the double apex right of Club Corner. Gives it its own unique challenge now after the modifications they made for the wing complex. And as we turn through, there's James Browning holding on to second place ahead of James Ford. Now keep an eye on the front running cars, because they are starting to come up behind the second of the Fiat Puntos, being driven by Simon McPhee, which of course is Chris's brother. As we go back to our overall leaders, Anthony George and Ray Foley. And Ray Foley is no stranger to Alfa Romeo racing. He's been around the championship for so many years and campaigned so many different Alfa Romeos. But he's currently happy with his little 147. GTA serves him well. And he has been a Power Trophy champion in the past as well, so he knows what it takes to succeed in the class and at this level. Now, Ray's actually going to come up to lap his fellow Power Trophy car. That's Ian Brookfield in the black number 55 Alfa Romeo 155. As we look back towards the Twin Spark Cup cars, and I can see that Tom Hill has managed to move his way past Simon McPhee. That's not for a class position, that's for overall position, because remember, the Puntos are only in the invitation class. They don't score points in any class at all. They're simply here just to enjoy the race and have fun. And so far, I'm sure that Simon will surely enjoy being the proverbial cat amongst the Twin Spark pigeons. Back through the double right-hander of Club go the overall leaders. Meanwhile, Simon McPhee is now really mixing it with the twin spark cars, because James Browning is going for second place. Well, he's already in second place in the class. He's going for track position here. Lock up on the rear from Simon McPhee. Still gets the car pitched in. There's James Thorne and Simon Cresswell watching on in third and fourth. They'll be key to try and make a move if any of them get tripped up here. Onto the pit straight once again. Michael Tiedemann is the second silver car in this shot. So the order in twin spark now is Tom Hill from James Browning from James Ford, then from Simon Cresswell, as they turn their way back up through Farm Curve into Village. And Simon McPhee is not going away here. In fact, he's not just holding with Tom Hill here. He could be possibly looking for an attack here, because these Puntos, they've got some poke on them, and they're certainly not afraid to mix it up with the rest of the contenders. That's what they're here for. Now then, James Ford is possibly coming under pressure from Simon Cresswell. Look at the red and orange cars that are second and third in the shot, as Simon McPhee was going for the outside of Tom Hill up towards Stoke Order. Meanwhile, Anthony George continues to lead fairly comfortably, not too comfortably, because Ray Foley is keeping him honest here. Up towards Abbey Corner again. These two have got the measure of the entire Alpha field. They're just enjoying a beautiful Saturday afternoon drive. But I can't say the same for this lot, because Tom Hill is not being allowed to relax here. As up the inside goes James Ford. A little bit of paddle rubbing between himself and Simon Cresswell. And that move has now put Andrew Bork up the inside of James Ford and Michael Tiedemann. And it's 2 by 2 hurrah through the second part of Club Corner. Side by side between the four of them. Now it's Bork on the inside of Cresswell. Tiedemann's got past James Ford. They'll slot back into line. Meanwhile, Simon McPhee is going on the attack of Tom Hill. So all of a sudden, the Twin Spark Cup has absolutely come alive here at Silverstone. We stay looking at this battle for third place in the Twin Sparks. It's now Andrew Bork that leads it, and a couple of moments ago, it was James Ford going for third. Now he's been shuffled all the way back to sixth. He's got a lot of work to do to try and recuperate those places. So the new order is now it from third to sixth. Bork, Cresswell, Tiedemann, James Ford, and Dave Messenger not too far away in seventh, keeping a watching brief and hoping for any mistakes here. But ahead of them, Simon McPhee is going for track position on Twin Spark leader Tom Hill. Up the inside. Hasn't made it stick just yet. Bork now goes for third place and pitches the car hard into the right-hander at Stoke Corner. Cresswell trying to go with him if he possibly can. Back up towards Vale once again, and Cresswell looked as though he was trying to go up the inside if he could. But no change whatsoever. They're keeping line astern, keeping a little bit civilised here. But you just sense any moment things are going to kick off in a minute, and it's all going to go pretty much like a mad dash. The dash for cash, if you like. As in front, look at that up at the head of the field. That is now Simon McPhee up the inside of Tom Hill for track position. And if he's not careful, he could compromise Tom Hill, and that could give James Browning the advantage he needs to try and take the lead again. So the trio up towards the complex at the Village, and Tom Hill looks to his driver's left and sees James Browning on the outside. Browning attacking for the lead into Village Corner. Can't get it done. Now through the kink. Up towards Chapel. He's going to the outside again. And if he can get a super exit off the corner, he'll have a great run onto the straight. And look at that. He's right underneath the rear bumper. This could be a change for the Twin Spark lead here between Tom Hill and James Browning. The battle of a third is as close as ever. And he's done it. James Browning takes the Twin Spark lead again from Tom Hill on the hanger straight. The leaders in the class past Ian Brookfield put another lap on him in the 155. But James Browning is now going to try and make the most of this advantage. As, look at that for fourth position. Michael Tiedemann on the inside of Simon Cresswell. Tiedemann has the inside line. Cresswell will try and defend as they go on the brakes for the right-hander. Tiedemann goes in and hits Bork. Up on two wheels goes Tiedemann. There was contact with Bork's passenger side door. Bork won't have appreciated that, but he stays in third place for the time being. Tiedemann's fired up, so is Cresswell. As now in front of them, Browning is going for track position. He's going to have a crack at Simon McPhee. But he can't get it done. Hill's back into the mix as well. And now the quartet continues again. Now Cresswell going for Tiedemann. He's on the grass slightly. As now it's now Hill's turn to go on the outside into Village Corner. Where has this come from? The race has absolutely come alive here in the Twin Spark Cup. From nowhere. And now, is that Tom Hill looking to the inside now of James Browning? He looked for a moment, but there was no gap, and he would have been foolish to stay there into Chapel Corner. So he'll sit back and try to reassess his option. But as the leaders of the class come back into the straight, Simon McPhee is just absolutely showing no respect. He's absolutely loving this. He doesn't care the Twin Spark cars are in a battle of a lead. He's going for it. He's having fun with these guys. Browning up the inside at Stowe Corner. Browning back in front again, but McPhee's coming back at him on the exit. They're now side by side again. McPhee, if he's got the run up towards Vale Corner, could hold on here. Browning goes deep into the corner. Locks up again. He's gone too deep. Browning goes wide. McPhee's back up the inside. Browning over the curb. Comes back onto the corner. And now Tom Hill's up the inside. Brilliant stuff from the Alphas here at Silverstone. Hill hits the front once again. But look behind them, because now Andrew Bourke is right on the back of them, and he's bringing Cresswell, Michael Tiedemann and James Ford with him. So it's now a six-pack for the lead once again, with Simon McPhee leading them all a merry dance at the front of the pack. So, breathe in. They're all going to pile back once again into Village Corner. Hill now up the inside of McPhee once again. But McPhee is going to hold on the outside line. He's always going to try and hold on here. They're side by side again. McPhee is giving it absolutely everything. And now James Browning goes out the outside. Can he hold on? Hill holds the outside line. Bourke now into third position. Cresswell's with them too. This is sensational. What a race from the Twin Spark Cup we've got going on here. We told you it was the most competitive class, and we weren't kidding. Now it looks like Andrew Bourke's going for second place in Twin Spark. Up the inside of Tom Hill. Towards Stowe Corner, and Browning's going for track position on Simon McPhee. McPhee's in the middle of this. Browning goes through, then shuts the door in Tom Hill's face. No, you don't, Tom. I don't think so. I'll hold on if you like. And they're all over each other towards Vale Corner. Dave Messer's been left out here. All fingers crossed up towards the braking zone. McPhee locks up again into the complex. Browning goes slightly wide, side by side between Bourke and Tiedemann. This is absolutely sensational. Oh, contact! Tom Hill hits Simon McPhee's car. McPhee is staying with James Browning. This is amazing. Now it's side by side again. Browning on the outside, McPhee on the inside, and it's three abreast for second place behind them. Hill on the inside, Bourke in the middle, Tiedemann on the outside, and Hill wins. Or does he? Because now here comes Tiedemann on the outside, side by side through Farm Corner, and James Ford's up there. Where's he come from? Bourke's been shuffled back to about 6th in class. It's three abreast again. Ford goes down the outside. Ford might have this one. He goes like, and Simon Cresswell's got past both of them. That is sensational. What a battle this is turning out to be. And still, Simon McPhee's at the head of all of it. This is incredible. Simon McPhee is having an absolute time of his life here. He's looking in the mirror. He must be absolutely laughing to himself in the cockpit. Now it's side by side for second place again, as Browning goes for McPhee on the outside. Cresswell going for second place here on Tom Hill, and they're side by side behind them again, because Tiedemann is under attack from James Ford. There are battles all over the place in the class, and it's still side by side again between all of them. Tiedemann got sideways on the exit of Stowe. James Ford goes back past them again. Oh, and Simon McPhee's lost it. Twitch of oversteer, he goes straight over, and Andrew Bourke almost slides in sympathy to try and avoid contact. It's all going on with Twin Sparks. James Ford goes wide, stays ahead of Michael Tiedemann, and I think it's time to shake out and calm down just a little bit more now. Let's just take stock of where we are then. So Browning leads, Hill second, Cresswell's up to third now, Ford is fourth, Tiedemann fifth, and I think that Andrew Bourke's been shuffled down to sixth position under attack from Dave Messenger. So, chance to breathe as we come back into the Village Corner once again. What a race this has turned out to be. Browning wide on the exit of Village Corner. Now that's fired up Tom Hill again. And Cresswell wants second place. He's going to go for it again on the exit of Chapel Corner onto the Hangar Straight. Meanwhile, whilst all of this is going on, Anthony George has been absolutely sailing away at the front of the field without a care in the world. He's coming up to lap Andy Inman, another of the Twin Spark cars. But Anthony has been virtually unchallenged for most of the race. He took the lead early on from Ray Foley. He's pulled away. I can tell you that Chris McPhee, Simon's brother, who's been having a ball of a time with the Twin Spark cars, Chris has had a much simpler race. He's up to second place overall, with Ray Foley down in third place, as Anthony George heads onto the hanger straight for the final time, into Stowe corner. And the 33-16 valve looks as though it's looking absolutely solid at the front of the field. Down towards valve for the last time. He's almost home. Under brakes. Turn left through Vale. Up towards the double apex of Club Corner. Out the final couple of corners. Once he took the lead, he never looked like losing it. Out of Club Corner, onto the pit straight. Anthony George wins a superb first race in the Alfa Romeo Championship here this weekend at Silverstone. Brilliant drive, flashes the headlights, and he should be rightly delighted with that. And now we wait for our second and third place drivers. Simon McPhee's brother Chris should be in the mix. There's Ray Foley. He's lapped a couple of the back markers in the Twin Spark Cup. As he comes towards the checkered flag, out of Club Corner in a moment's time. There he is. Ray Foley takes second and wins the Power Trophy category. And as they come across the line, let's take you through the full result then. So, Anthony George wins overall and modified class ahead of Chris and Simon McPhee in second and third place. Oh, sorry, it's Ray Foley in third place, with James Branding winning Twin Spark ahead of Simon Cresswell, Michael Tideman, James Ford, Andrew Bork and Dave Messenger. Tom Hill, we're hearing, is excluded from the result due to, I believe, track limits. So that's an unfortunate situation for him. And Simon McPhee, Stacey Dennis, Andy Inman, John Griffiths and Paul Webster, with Ian Brookfield rounding out the field. What a race, and Rachel has the drivers in the paddock.
Gentlemen, congratulations. I don't know which one of you ordered the weather, but I don't think it could have been more perfect for spectacular racing here at Silverstone. Anthony George, come to you first as race winner. Silverstone a favourite or not?
It is one of my favourites, between Silverstone and Snetterton, which is my local one, and Donington. Those three are really the ones I like. But yeah, Silverstone, when the weather's like this, fantastic. So
a little bit of home advantage then, do you think, here this weekend?
Not here, no, because Snetterton's my local one, but Silverstone, we have been here a few times, and yeah, no, it's just a great circuit for us.
Chris McPhee, I'll come to you next. Chasing him down, did you simply run out of race?
I just haven't got the power. He had the legs on me. It is a bit of a power circuit, but yeah, it was a cracking race, give me something to aim for. But yeah, he kept me honest. I got a lead in the front, and he just sort of went past me down the straight. So, but yeah, looking forward to Cadwell. I think that's going to suit the car a bit better.
Okay. And Roy, I'll come to you last. Third on race one. Did you simply run out of race as well, or?
No, unfortunately my car let go on the last lap, so I was having a pretty good race with Anthony. I didn't have enough power to keep quite up with him, but I was holding second for a long while. I had first place for the first 6 laps and then dropped back behind Anthony for the rest of the race until it was about 1 lap to go, and all the water came out of the car, and unfortunately I spun on the wet tyres. So,
not what any of us want.
I literally limped it home in a sort of very low speed and just managed to sneak across in third place, so it was really...
Well, hard fought then, and congratulations all the more. Is it too early to say whether or not the car's going to be fit to race again?
At the moment, yes. We'll race again, but whether we're out for Cadwell, we hope to be. But at the moment we can't find out what the problem is. We've had the Simmons thing at Alton 2 weeks ago, and unfortunately it keeps it's racing beautifully and then all of a sudden dumps everything, so there's something pressurising in there. We're not sure what yet.
Well, best of luck. You've got a few weeks between now and Cadwell Park. I've got my fingers crossed for you. Hopefully we'll be talking to you there.
We'll do our best to be there. Thank you.
Thanks. James, congratulations on your Twin Spark class win. It's been incredibly hot here today. How's that played on the car and tyre setup?
I mean, it's very difficult. I mean, the cars are very limited to what you can do as far as setup. Really, it's tyre pressures, and that's it. So they're really, really crucial. We might have gone out a bit too hard, so it was a challenge, but it's a really good race and really good battle, and the tyres managed to last, and we managed to come through. So
there was some great on-track tussling going on for position. Do you enjoy it, or do you like to have clear space out on track?
No, 100%. I mean, that's why we come racing. I mean, I come racing to race with other people. If I wanted to race around on my own, I go and do a track day. You know, the best part about racing is driving door to door, bumper to bumper with someone, not touching each other, and really close competitive racing, and that's what the Alfa Championship gives us. So definitely.
And then when you're all back in the paddock, the camaraderie sets in, doesn't it?
Yeah, so all the jokes get cracked and everything else that goes with it, and we'll have a laugh and a joke, but you know, the paddock's great here, and the championship's really good and very inviting for new drivers. I mean, this is my 3rd season now, and day 1 it was fantastic, so yeah, really, really good.
Day 1, race 1 over and done with. What are your hopes for tomorrow's race and, or dare I ask, the weather?
Definitely hoping for more dry weather. I like being warm. I don't like being wet. The car's the same, so I hope for similar weather. We've got, you know, we understand the tyres and stuff. So I think if it stays dry, I'll get a good start off the line, then we'll be good to go.
Well, fingers crossed. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.